Aloha! Welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Hawaiian beaches on the beautiful big island of Hawaii. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for watching. I love you. Welcome. Hooray. Yay, Lori. Oh, Lori and Holly. Oh, aloha. So, Lori, you had a question. You want to go first? Raise your hand. You'd like to go first. I'll bring you on first. There you are. Yay.
Well, shit, it was a post that you put on there. Now I got to look for it.
Oh, I have it.
Oh, you do have it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have it. It was exciting.
You got to come back about
Here it is. It was fun. It kind of looked like I was in trouble. You go, okay, you.
it. I'm
Tuesday, this needs to be talked about. Okay. That's fun. So here it is. Here it is. You don't have to hang out with people to set them free in your mind. If they're showing lack of love, it's up to you to appreciate them as a messenger of love so that you can find out how you're withholding love from yourself. And then watch how you're moved to respond on the surface of things. There's no formula for this, but you'll be amazed at how well you seem to know what to do, what to say, and how to hold boundaries for yourself through no effort of your own. And then I don't know if this raised a flag for you, I put all praise to the Creator for holding everyone in perfect peace.
Yeah, and Tig wrote a really beautiful one about that, about just that today, which made it really clear for me.
Oh, how awesome.
Really just hours ago.
Oh, how wonderful.
About how everyone is free, and when you think that others aren't, um, you're only holding yourself. You're imprisoning yourself when you think that
Yeah.
they aren't. Yeah. Oh, he wrote it. It's just beautiful. So,
Hooray.
oh, yeah. So now it seems like I don't need to talk about it.
So you don't even need to talk about it. How fabulous. If anyone else would like to talk about it, raise your hand. Oh, I see Molly popping up.
Go for Molly. Go for Molly.
Okay, I'll be back with you. Aloha. Yeah, Molly.
Hi.
Aloha.
You look so pretty in your new backyard.
Oh, thank you.
I don't think I've seen you from there yet on the screen.
Oh, how fun.
And your hair looks nice.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So there's just a couple of us on here, yeah? Is that right?
So far we have 5.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, I wanted to ask a personal question, but it's like I've started to see with this person where just exactly what you guys are talking about, where I experience like being ignored or lack of love or inconsistency or blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then this person says that they experience the same thing from they're having the same feelings, and so it's difficult for me because I'm one to like take a lot of responsibility and sort of like believe it, be gullible and sort of like, be a doormat a little bit because I can be so empathic and like, oh, I feel you, and
Yeah.
that's fine. So I was in that spot, and then I got to this spot of like, oh wait, no, fuck that. And then and I didn't get to that spot. Like the universe just showed me that spot. I came on this trip. It's like I didn't do anything. It just one thing, that things were. It wasn't. It was feeling that that distance was starting, and then I went on this trip with this huge new perspective change of really like that one post that you posted recently, like what's more reliable than this and this and this is knowing how deserving you are. So I just got to see like how deserving I was, and like that I absolutely don't need to put up with any of that kind of
Mhm.
crap I was experiencing. And that's all good. But my question is that I'm also like, part of my process seems to be like a lot of anger and like, yeah, fuck you. You know what I mean? And da 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 da. And it's like, I am aware of that because I know that when I feel that when the lesson's really learned, or when there really is a lot of peace and love, that that like that doesn't need to come up. You know what I mean? Does that
Yes.
make sense? So I'm
Yes.
aware that that process, even though it like kind of feels good like temporarily, I'm aware that there's something like a little bit, yeah, tricky about that.
Yes. Because, the kind of like the fuck you stage is a part of the process.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is
yeah.
just part of the process.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's part of it. It's sort of like, you're a doormat and then it's fuck you and then it's like, oh, okay, it's all me. And when you recognize that it's all you, you can then embody these feelings like you're being treated like a doormat. You can embody those feelings and you're able to move according to your highest good instead of out of a rebellion.
Right.
That's the difference. Because no one's really doing anything to you. You could say that they are appearing on your screen just for you to be expressive, to be self-expressive.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So it's like you embody this feeling like, oh my goodness, they're not giving me the attention I need or whatever it is, and you notice that it is all emotion. And when you
Yeah.
recognize that it's all emotion, it's like your movements are motivated from a completely different level. Like you don't really need to know why or anything. You just automatically know. And there's no second guessing about it either. There's no second guessing about it. And there's no wondering what should I do? Should I stay or
You're
should I
right. Right.
yeah, should I stick around for some more of this or should I walk the other way? And the thing is, when you recognize that it's all coming up in your field of experience, including the image of yourself, including that image of yourself, it's like you just want to be there for the experience, whatever it is, however you seem to be moved. See?
Yeah, because it definitely all just seems to be like it's just waving through. I can't really take credit for one or the other. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like it really feels like that. I
Yeah.
can't, I don't have control in it. It's just beautifully unfolding, you know? I think
Yeah,
it's,
so it's like watching for those victim feelings and letting them get intense, letting them intensify in your body's energy field. Without projecting. See, if you're feeling anger toward the person, that's not it. And that's like it like blows your mind when you're willing to acknowledge that it's not them, that they're not actually doing anything, that you're making it all up. To acknowledge in that moment where you feel that tension in your body's energy field that you are making it all up, it it moves things. It moves things internally to where you naturally know where to go, what to say, what to do, to where everyone's loving you. The more you're willing to see that everyone's loving you, the more your perception unfolds to actually reflect that. That's the healing, you know.
mm-hmm.
It's just like a physical healing. It's just like a physical healing where you go, okay, I know this disease or whatever it's that I'm perceiving. I know it's not really happening. That's not possible that this is actually happening.
Right.
You know, and so then you can't blame it on anything.
Yeah.
You can't say with authority, okay, let's say for instance, I've got this cancer and it's not going away. You know, it's like you can't take it, you can't say that with authority that I've got this and it's not going away because it's not really happening. If you're perceiving any kind of someone being any way less than loving to you, that is not true. That is not true. It's an emotion playing out.
Mm.
So if you would be willing to see that it's not true, it'll be revealed to you through the feeling sense. Because you'll begin to see how these emotions rise up like a wave and then come back down. No one's being victimized. No one's being victimized in it. And that's why, you've probably heard a bunch of times, nothing's personal. And that's because nothing is happening. Nothing is really happening. It's all emotions. It's all pictures playing out of emotions. One of my friends put it like it's a computer generated image. Flashed out, from emotion, it's just a computer generated image. Okay, there's the image. And it's all emotional. And that goes all the way across the board. It like anything financial, any like, oh yeah, I'd really like to get that, but too bad I don't have whatever. That's emotional.
Yeah.
That's an emotional thing. And, it becomes so simple because it's like whatever emotion comes up, you're able to just embody it. And that's how the healing happens. Then there's no lack. There's no lack of anything. There's no lack of love. There's no lack of abundance. There's no lack of health. That's just totally like a prop.
I think that's all happened because I have been reminding myself of that. And I think I just got through the really intense, shitty feelings. You know what I mean? Like it didn't make them go away,
Yeah.
but I got through, like they taught me. It's really cool.
And then
it doesn't
at a point, you'll sense a transformation in your body's energy field. And that transformation takes place while the emotion is at its intensity, at a high point of intensity.
Oh yeah, so, okay. Finish.
Go ahead.
I've been able to eat whatever I want and I feel and look great. That's one switch. Like I was cracking up. I was like, it's not the food. It's not the food. It's me. Yeah. So anyways, that's the one transformation I was like, whoa, I really did feel that.
You see, yeah, you feel it happen because you know how intense that gets. And see, what normally occurs is an emotion will come, it'll rise to a certain intensity, but for most people, they don't allow it to get very intense.
Right.
And realize they're not allowing it to get intense. They're not allowing it to get intense by projecting thoughts about this.
Right.
The thoughts also make you feel bad, but still you don't get that intensity. You don't get that like holy fire kind of burning out of
it.
Right. Burning sensation as when you say, oh, wait a minute, I know it's not about the food. And you know what? I know it's not about my metabolism. That's bullshit too. Your genes and all that kind of stuff. I know I'm not just a fat broad. See? And it's like, it kind of like just, and I know there's no bad foods, and I know Monsanto has nothing to do with it. Whatever it is that triggers you into some kind of projection. Because the projection, it lessens it. It lessens it. You can look at it like this. When you project something like that, it's like you take the intense feeling and bury it in an image. Just bury it in an image. Like say, oh, I feel like this or I look like this because say it's my metabolism. Okay, so your metabolism becomes the image that you're burying that feeling in for temporary, so you don't get the intensity of it, and then it'll come back around again. But what's going on is that if the emotion will rise to a certain intensity, and it's like a wave, it'll go down and it'll go away, and it'll seem like it's gone, but it's not. It's not gone. It's going to come back because it hasn't been healed. See? Yeah. So that's the way most people experience it. Like you might be up all night bumming out, and then wake up the next morning and be like, man, what was that about? Like I don't feel like that today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why was I so pissed at him? I don't feel like that today. I'm going to go apologize, you know. And that's, and no matter what, if the intensity isn't allowed to come up in its full force and be seen through like that, it's always going to keep on coming back around again. And what happens for people is it gets more and more intense, and that's what increases the death urge too. You know, as people tend to go on in age, I'm not going to say get older because that's not really true. It's more of an accumulation of thoughts. You know, as there's this accumulation of thought, the death urge gets stronger and stronger because these emotions aren't being allowed to play out like that. They're not being allowed to play to their full intensity and be seen through. So it seems like the rest is going to come, the relief is going to come in death. And you know what? It's true. It's true. The relief comes in death, but that's not really a level up. That's not the level up you're looking for. It's just a level sideways, because it's a chance for relief, but ultimately you got to do it again. You want to do it again. From that perspective, it's super fun. You want to do it again. You're excited about seeing through, having the opportunity to see through it this time.
Yeah, totally.
And that's what makes the whole illusion of aging and everything like that. And then watch this too, the agreement. There's these agreements, and people will say the agreements to you because you want them to, you know. So it's like a matter of listening and not trying to argue with them. They want you to say these agreements. They want you to say, oh yeah, that's what happens when you eat too much. Or if you eat fried chicken like that every day, you're gonna gain weight, you know. And it's like you want that to come up so that you can see through it. So what a lot of people do is agree with it, though. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They might nod in agreement. See, that's reinstating the agreement. Oh yes, I agree to that.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen like a post on Facebook, some young girls talking about how all guys are screwed up, and they all get on there and agree, and I'm like, oh, girls, setting yourself up. That's quite the agreement to be making.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, or the agreement of how shitty the IRS is. You know,
Mhm.
like it can do something to you.
Totally.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Molly. I love you.
I love you. That was
Yay.
fun.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Okay, so I have a question or some question here from Anastasia. Yeah, I felt like saying it like that today. There's all kinds of ways to say that name. It's a fun one. Anastasia, Anastasia. That's pretty American way. All right. Anyways, you're on with me today. So if you want to talk with me, raise your hand, okay? And I'll bring you on. If anyone else has questions that pop up, feel free to raise your hand. Also write to me. I see your comments, Theo. Okay. Is special love a distortion of vision? Well, you could say that special love is what you made someone. This is special love, I'm sure, in the context taught by A Course in Miracles. Let me give a little bit of background on that. So, special love as opposed to, what was it? What do they call it? Holy love? Something like that. Special love as opposed to, I don't know, I forgot. I think it's holy love, but something like that. You get the gist. So basically, a special love or a special relationship is where you are using the person to keep your agreement to view yourself as separate. You're using them to keep yourself in that agreement. You might say that you use them for your self-image, so you could look a certain way to yourself and, you know, hopefully to other people, which doesn't really work because they see you however they need to see you anyways. Um, it could be to get something from them, like some security in the world, you know, to play out your jealousy patterns. It's any kind of relating that is not for awakening your mind. It's for playing out patterns. Is it a distortion of vision? Yes, I would say so. Because it's like you're holding up this image. It's almost like it blocks your light. So, you know, you can look at it like this. True vision is just your light without casting any shadows. Without casting any shadows. It's just your light, no shadows. So it's like you're holding them up as sort of an idol. You could say like an idol in your mind to cast shadows. Oh, they did this to me. Or, oh, they're so great, like worshiping them too. That's another one. I need them. A lot of times this happens with kids, you know. A lot of times this happens with kids and especially partners, bosses. Like they're the ones that are responsible for giving you money. So then your relationship with them is a certain way. Kids, as in you want them to be a certain way. You wish they were different, better. You hope they don't die. You know, stuff like that. Missing is an indication of a special relationship. I miss you. That feeling is not so much the words, but the feeling. That's an indication of special love. See? There's no missing in reality. Not to say that that's a bad thing or anything, but it's just one more emotion to see through. You know, instead of getting all romantic with the emotion, you know, most people love missing it. Oh, it makes me feel alive, you know. It's really using someone to harm yourself, using someone to attack yourself, okay? Is the purpose of special love and sexuality to see through the illusion. You know what? The purpose of every single thing that you experience is to see through the illusion. That's the only purpose. You can say that you turn it into a special relationship when you try to use it for any other purpose. When you try to use them as a body, you know, the attachment to the body, when you try to use it for any other purpose. And you can sense it. It's emotion. It's all emotion. And really, the only true emotion is love. The only true emotion is love. Everything else is a lack of love. Everything else is showing a lack of love. That's to be seen through. When you're feeling only love, when you're sharing only love, then there's nothing to see through. But these fluctuations in the body's energy field, these fluctuations of emotion in the body's energy field, they're an indication that you've made some special relationship. You made some special love out of this. They are an indication of that. And that's what makes it for seeing through. Okay, it looks like Yulia might have a question regarding this. Aloha, Yulia.
Aloha Hope, so good to talk to you again.
Oh, you too. I love you.
Love
Thank
you too. Can you talk a little bit about talking to people who are close to you, with whom you might even have that special love you were talking about, you know, like children and other close ones,
Yeah.
and who do not necessarily know of how you see things. You know, for instance, most people see money is real, politics is real, and, you know, they
Yeah.
see these flaws in the world and stuff like that. And maybe I was like that myself, and I still sometimes engage in conversations as if I am like that for
Uh-huh.
whatever purpose, you know, just to play, just to continue on. And just because I feel like I can't convey what I really see. Sometimes with some people I manage, sometimes with some people I don't feel like I can. But how do you do this? For instance, just, you know, I'm sure you have different people around you. Not everybody around you could possibly share these views. Just curious what you can say about that. You know, like again, it's always about my kids, but not necessarily, you know, like they are involved in all kinds of social activism and all about improving the world. And if I attempt to speak from my position, they you know, it doesn't go very well. So
No,
I play with them. Yeah, I play with them and use other perspectives and positions and play with what I say and things like that. But it seems like it's completely impossible to convey, and yet I want to communicate.
okay, cool. So you don't have to try to communicate.
But I want to. I want to.
Okay. So what saying I want to is just the ego. That's why it gets all messed up. That's why it gets all messed up. You know, you can communicate without saying a word. And, you know, for the most part, listen with your whole body, listening with your body's energy field. What you're hearing, what they're saying, listening. That's all. There's nothing to say. There's nothing to say. The words can come automatically. Like, I don't know how it's going or if anything is going to come out. But for me, it's always just listening with my body. And if I sense any kind of discomfort, then I'm allowing that discomfort to grow in me. I'm allowing it. I'm just allowing the discomfort to get intense, to intensify in my body's energy field. And then when there isn't any discomfort, that's when real communication can happen. So, you know, I've shared before for a little while, maybe about 6 or 8 months, I'm not sure how long, there was just a motivation to be quiet, just be completely quiet, because I was too uncomfortable to speak. If you're feeling uncomfort, whatever comes out of your mouth is going to cause more uncomfort. So if I'm feeling uncomfort, I'll just be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And then when there isn't uncomfort, when there isn't any uncomfort, then whatever I say, it can be received. See, then it can be received. I'll just check in to see where the comfort level is in my body's energy field. And it's like, you don't really have a choice in what you say or when you say it. I've shared that before. But if you're in an attitude of asking, you're in an attitude of noticing and listening with your body's energy field, you're going to be motivated to speak when it's helpful, so to speak. when it's not going to fall on deaf ears, when it's not going to be casting your pearls before swine. See, so it's like, no one needs, remember I shared, I don't know if you saw, I shared, you know, all that could be taught and learned is meaningless. It's meaningless. Like even here on Wisdom Dialogues, everything that I say is completely meaningless. It's just words. The only thing that can be shared is love. Okay? Everything that's not love doesn't even get shared. It doesn't last. It's nothing.
Unless it's the special love, then it's all confusing. Then it's all different.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Special love is not love. Mm-hmm. It's not shared. It doesn't last. It's meaningless. So, you know, if you watch, you'll see when you're talking meaninglessness, because it's coming from your body's energy field. Everything that every action that you're motivated to do, including your words, it's coming from your body's energy field. So you stay in that kind of listening mode, and then it's sort of like you have a very wise advisor telling you exactly what to say and what to do, and then you don't have any second guessing about it at all. Even if it doesn't seem to be something that was helpful, you know that the seed was planted at least. You know, you don't have a second guess about it. The only reason you have a question about it or you have a second guess about it is because you're acting, aka speaking, out of a lack of love energy, a lack of love emotion, an untrue emotion. That's why you would have any question about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That was actually very clear. Not that
yay.
I think I don't know yet what it's really like to listen with the whole body energy field.
Well, that takes some focus. It's a different kind of focus. It comes along with recognizing, a willingness to recognize from moment to moment that this is an energetic experience. It's an emotional journey, totally emotional. And there's nothing else. There's nothing else going on. Like if you think someone's being mean to you, for instance, it seems like someone's being mean to you. Recognizing that is an emotional projection. It's an emotional projection that someone's being mean to you. And the choice you have in this moment is how you're going to be projecting. How you're projecting. Are you projecting that that projection is true? Or are you just sharing love? See? So it's like are you making that true that that person is being mean, or is it just sharing love? So it's a projection that you're projecting onto.
Yes, and remembering the difference between the true love and the special love.
And you know what? And for the most part, you don't know.
Uh-huh.
You don't know. It's like until you know, then you know.
Exactly.
It's like if you could just admit, I do not know what love is, because if I knew what love is, then I wouldn't be suffering over it. There is no suffering in love.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible to suffer in love. So if you admit, I don't know what this is, that's very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was love, but obviously it's not.
Oh, it's definitely true with my children, for sure.
And that is true for the most part. I mean,
Most part, yes.
yeah, for the most part, the love is there, but you don't know what it is because there's pain involved. If there's pain involved, you don't know. It's like you can have peace instead of this.
Mm-hmm.
You can, but you have to be willing to see that you don't know what this is. You're calling it love. And that's why people get so pained when it seems like, someone didn't live up to your love expectations. Maybe a body dies, for instance. Maybe a body dies and then it's like, oh gosh, all my love is gone. I've seen like from what went on around here in Puna with all these houses being taken by lava. It's like this idea of I'm suffering because I love so much. And you know what? Actually, you're suffering because you didn't know what love was. You don't know what love is if you're suffering. That's not the way it is. And there's a reluctancy to admit to that. Even a big defensiveness that comes up that goes, oh no, I definitely know what love is, and now I'm suffering, and that's part of love. It's not part of love. That means it's special love. Okay? And if you just admit that you don't know what love is, then you'll be shown. And through that suffering over the special love, like say a body died, or I don't know, maybe your kid did something where it was like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that, or they called you a bitch, for instance. Like people have a hard time with that. You don't call your mom a bitch, I love you. You can't do that to me when I love you. It's the comes to the same thing. You let the intensity of that feeling, you let it grow and grow and grow till it seems like you can't take anymore without projecting what you think you know. Without projecting what you think you know about that love, about that kind of love that hurts. Because that's not it.
Yeah, that's very, very clear. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking just a moment ago about how we suffer because of, we think we suffer because of other people. And I know all that. I know that so well, that that's so untrue, that my children are not responsible for my happiness, that all my expectations of how they need to be and all my unhappiness about how they're not the way I think they should be, it's all BS, you know. It's not love. And yet I find myself caught in it sometimes.
Sure. And whenever you find yourself caught in it, you could get excited because you have the choice. Once you find yourself caught in it, you're not caught in it so much because you find yourself caught in it. So there's where the choice point is. It's not as if, oh no, okay, now I've done it. Now there's no return. It's like wherever you find yourself, there's the point of return. There's where the opportunity for return is.
Yeah, I find myself like recently, like almost like wanting to complain to someone just so badly. Like I haven't complained to anyone in a long time, you know, write to this friend who wrote me about something great that's going on with her, our child. Like, you know, I'm feeling so awful. Everybody is telling me all these great things about their kids, and I've got nothing great to tell you, know, something of that sort.
Yeah, then just be quiet. I think you're doing that. I think you are. I think you're just being quiet. You want to complain, but you're not. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But I found that like I felt that really strong urge, like, oh, like that would feel so good right now to just tell her how horrible I feel. You know?
Well, here's something awesome. You know, if you find yourself doing that, then you're going to get some agreement about how you should feel horrible about that.
Oh,
But
I know. Everybody's gonna agree, and oh, they will tell me how things will be fine, and you know, will give me advice on how things will turn out all better and things like that,
right.
or what
And
I should
you
do.
know, one thing that might be helpful for you when you feel like doing that, write a note to yourself. Get complainy on your note. You write a letter to yourself. You can even write an email to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Let all those complaints come up really strongly. You know, it's not gonna hurt you to get the feeling effect of this, knowing what it is. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it'll cause the appearance of harm in your experience if you're sharing it with someone and they're agreeing with you. You're getting their agreement on it, okay? But if you're just writing this to yourself and getting the feeling and letting the feeling intensify in you, that's how you heal it. So write that complaining note to yourself. Just get all complaining.
Cool, I like that.
Yeah. If you feel like doing that, just do it, but do it to yourself because you know what this is, and you'll see. You start writing those notes to yourself, have a cry about it and everything, but let that get intense and recognizing that this is delusion playing out, and it'll work wonders.
Wonderful, I like that.
Okay. All right, have fun with that, Yulia. I love you.
Thank you. I love you too, Hope.
Okay, aloha.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, Bob, I see your hand. I'm going to do a couple more from what Anastasia wrote to me here. Why the most violence is related to sexuality in one way or another in my perception. Well, you know, there's not really a why on that specifically. There's not when you find yourself asking why like that, there's no need for that. There's no need to even go into it. You know, that's just the perception. It could be any way. It could be related to money, for instance. You know, you can get in fights about someone stole your, I don't know, money that you had in your mattress, and then you want to kill them. I don't know. So yeah, it could be related to anything, and it doesn't matter. It's like violence. When violence comes up, it's the same kind of thing. Let it get intensified. Let it all get intensified in your body's energy field. You know, whatever it's related to doesn't really matter. Whatever it's relating to doesn't really matter. But you'll see that if it's relating to sexuality, then your sexuality will become a lot less violent as the violence itself is worked out in your body's energy field. Okay? You're probably talking about, you can raise your hand if you want to speak with me because I know you're on here, but you're probably talking about some kind of relationships where it's like violence and then makeup and then have some makeup sex. Yeah, see that a lot. Violence, makeup, pleasure, pain, pleasure, pain, pleasure, pain. That's not really the kind of sexuality that you're looking for. That's a sexuality you get in a special relationship. Okay? This kind of sex where it's tied with something else. Right? Is there sexuality in a perfect world? You know what? Not like you think. Sexuality, sex, orgasm, all that stuff, it's like a shadow of what it's like to be in reality. Let's say in reality. That's the reality is kind of like behind the scenes of what we're perceiving, what's being perceived in this world, where the bodies are dense, where sexual pleasure oftentimes comes with bodies rubbing up against one another in some way. See, that's not really necessary. There's light bodies in the world that's already here, not somewhere off, not in the future, anything like that. A world that's already here. Bodies do not need to rub up against each other in order to feel that kind of connection. It's really a connection that gives you that blissful feeling, okay? Not to say that there's anything wrong with sex. It's great. It's awesome. It's beautiful. And everything that we perceive on this plane is only like a shadow of what it's like, okay? It's only like a shadow of what it's like. Now, in the dream, it becomes more and more beautiful. The dream becomes more and more happy and beautiful. Sex becomes more and more playful, more and more pleasurable as you see through, as the relationships become more holy. As the relationships become more holy, it becomes more playful and loving. It doesn't turn violent by any means. But to see through that, the violence within the body's energy field needs to be able to play out without projection, without projecting, okay? Do flowers smell? Not separate from you. Everything comes from you. Everything created is you. So it doesn't come separate from you. I mean, even in the dream, the smell of a flower doesn't come from the flower. It comes from your mind. It just comes from your mind. All the smells are arising in you. They're not coming from outside of you. So when you know that, when you recognize that nothing is separate, it's not like you're depending on a flower for an aroma. See? It's not like you're depending on it. The aroma is of you. All of the aromas are of you, including the aromas of essential oils. Okay? Is reality a sensual experience? Well, you don't have the body senses as you're used to. You don't have the body senses. That's a dense kind of sense. That's a dense sense. It's just mind. It's just mind. It's a blissful, I'm not sure how to put it into a word that you could understand, experience, but that's not quite it. It's just the bliss of being who you are. You don't need body senses to know it. You don't need the body senses to know it. You can sense it within the dream. You can sense it within the dream, but it doesn't come from sensing the outer world as such. You could say it's more electric, to give it a word that might be understood. It's more electrical. It's not dependent on stimulus. Okay? Yes, sexuality is made into a problem through identification. That's all. It's painted as something. It can be very playful and fun. It doesn't have to have an other side. Pleasure doesn't have to have the other side. Basically pain. So in believing that pleasure is dependent on something, it's a setup for the other side. It's a setup for the opposite. Okay? In believing that pain is caused by something. You know, say you got punched in the nose. Say that's what it is. You know, you have the perception of getting punched in the nose, and now your nose hurts. If you would be willing to see that the hurt, the pain, is not really caused by your perception, but it came from within, it came from the mind, it's punishment coming from the mind, then it eliminates the need for it, because it's already known what you're deserving of. It's already known what your inheritance is. Okay? But if you depend on illusions either way, if you call it being about the illusions either way, then you need these two sides. And what happens for a lot of people is the pain is the one that gets magnified. And then life becomes very little pleasure and a lot of pain. See, that's the one that gets magnified. So in the happy dream, the pleasure gets magnified and the pain gets minimized until there isn't any. Until there isn't any need for it. That comes from seeing through, seeing that this attachment to pleasure and aversion to pain is just an energy arising. See? So it's like we feel pleasure and go, oh, I got to get more of that, what gave me the pleasure. And feel pain and go, oh, I got to avoid that, what gave me the pain. Well, it's already known what it is that pleases you. It's already known. Consciousness already knows. So where you're not giving into the attachment and the aversion, it's going to go toward the happy dream. It's going to go toward that happy dream all on its own. There's nothing for you to do about it. But if you're projecting as if the pain that you feel is caused by an illusion, then you're going to have more illusions to cause you pain. And if you're projecting as if the pleasure you feel is caused by an illusion, it gives this attachment energy, and that attachment is really resistance. It's really resistance. It's resisting the pleasure and seeking for pain. And that's why people get in situations where it seems like, and I'm saying seems like because there is no addiction, but it seems as if there's addiction. It's like there's going for this pleasurable thing that's really causing pain because it's not recognizing what it is that that's really going on here and where your pleasure and pain really comes from. When there's recognition of where your pleasure and pain really comes from, the pleasure side actually grows while the pain side shrinks. Okay? But if you put the responsibility on yourself to seek for the pleasurable and avoid the pain, then the pain side grows while the pleasure side becomes minimal. I've even heard from some people that they've never ever experienced contentment in their lives. They can't remember it. They can't remember being happy. Can't remember being truly happy. But the whole time they're going for happiness and trying to avoid pain. It just goes to show you that you don't have that power as a separate individual who's trying to go for your own happiness. You don't have that power to create that. You might have the illusion that you did it for a little while. No. And then it'll be like, oh, I lost it. I got to get better at it again. And it could go back and forth like that. But if you give all responsibility to consciousness, if you just give all that responsibility over to consciousness and only just watch where you're getting attached, where you're reverted to something, watching the energy rise, let it intensify, let it pass, telling yourself the truth, consciousness automatically takes care of you. Okay? You don't even find yourself sticking around people who are showing lack of love. They're not attractive to you, and they're not attracted to you. See? They're not attractive. They're not attractive to you. It's easy to say, no, thank you. Not that you're wrong. Not that you're wrong. I'm sure you'll find plenty of playmates to play that out with you because everyone finds what they're looking for and there's no wrong path. That's just not for me, so no thank you. That's all. And it's a real allowing too. It's like allowing people to show you what they're into. Just show me what you're into. Whether they happen to be, someone who might be a potential partner for you, whether they happen to be a business associate, whether it's a child wanting to relate with you in a certain way, it's like, oh, a no thank you. Hey, do you want to do it like this? A no thank you. I'm so glad that you get to explore that though. Okay? None of this is wrong. These explorations of the painful sexuality, it's one way of exploring the mind. There's nothing wrong with it. If you find yourself in that situation and you feel like it doesn't resonate with you anymore, you know how to address it. You know how to address it. Get the intensity of the non-resonant energy. Get that intensity. And then you'll be led to exactly what it is that needs to be done, said, moved, whatever. Because you're not doing any of it. Consciousness is. Your only movement is in thought. The only way you're moving is in thought. Thought identification. Don't take responsibility for your own life. If you take responsibility for your own life, you're setting yourself up for failure. You may experience some minor, oh yeah, I got this. I really got this. But it's always a setup for failure. Let consciousness be responsible for your life, and you be responsible for expressing who you are no matter what. Not taking evidence of untruth as if it's true. Not taking what's appearing on the illusory field as if it's real. As if my pleasure comes from this. Oh, this is so good. My pleasure comes from this. See? It makes it real easy for habits to come and go too. Any kind of habit come and go. Oh, this is nice. Okay, this is nice. But it's not an attachment. When it's not an attachment, it's like you're always being moved to greater and greater pleasurable sensations in the dream, because that's an expression of the joy that you are. Attaching to good things and pushing bad things away is not an expression of the joy that you are. It's an expression of separation. It's an expression of identifying as an individual. It's all this burden on your shoulders, and that's going to show in your experience. Okay. Is there a such thing as masculine and feminine in reality? No, that's the duality. There's no need. There's no need for that. Okay? That's another thing that has kind of like a romantic play to it. There's no need for that. We're just playing with it. We're playing with it though. It's not anything wrong with it. But you can see how it's set up for duality. You see how it's just set up for duality. It's not like someone's supposed to be a certain way because they have a penis or because they have a vagina, whatever. It's whatever you feel resonant with. In the dream, you might feel resonant with the more feminine, even though you have a penis, and that's okay. Doesn't matter. Could go either way. In some ways, you might find yourself more masculine. In some ways, you might find yourself more feminine. It's a combination. It's both. And there's no need for these kinds of body parts in the first place, except for in the dream, because there's reproduction in the dream. There's birth and death. So people get pregnant. The idea of getting pregnant, and that's how we make these bodies, apparently. There's no need for that to be in bliss. Pleasure is like a substitute for bliss while you're in a dream. While you're experiencing yourself in a dream, as a dream figure, as a dream image. Okay? There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, it expands as the dream gets happier and happier. It's awesome. Okay? Why experience from masculine perspective is so different from to the feminine one. Just for contrast, that the dream is all about opposites. It's all about contrast. It's all about getting you to buy in to these things are real. These things are true. Getting you to buy into this is happening. This is happening to me. This is good. This is bad. That's all. That's the way you set it up. It's meaningless. Totally meaningless. When you start to see that it's meaningless, then you'll notice the reaction in your body's energy field is just for playing into it. And you don't have to buy into it, okay? You don't have to buy into it with thoughts. You don't have to feed into it. You don't have to project onto it. And even the question why, you know, it points to it wants to get engaged. It wants to get engaged with something. There's no why about it. There's no why about it except for the dream perspective. Just for duality. Okay? What is the root of trauma between genders? Well, it's not really between genders. The root of trauma is the root of trauma, period. The root of trauma is taking yourself as separate, believing as if you separated yourself from reality, believing that there's nothing beyond this perception but a void. Okay? Believing in that. Believing that there's nothing beyond this perceived world but a void. All there is this perceived world of being born and dying over and over again. That's the root of trauma. Okay, that's a very sad story. People try to paint it as something beautiful. People try to paint it as something beautiful, but it's a very sad story. That's traumatic. It's traumatic because of who you are, and as who you are, the creation, the inheritance that's yours. Deep down, you know this inheritance is yours. You know it. That's what's traumatic, because you're making yourself believe in illusions. You're making yourself believe in that you can't have that. Oh, that would be great if, oh, but I can't have that. So I'll make this great instead. I'll make this dream world into great because of the fact that there's nothing else beyond it. And I'm telling you, it's not even beyond it. It's not even beyond it. It's just beneath the surface of it. The real world is just beneath the surface of it. It's like there's dust. It's like there's a cloud of dust hanging out over the real world, and we're taking that dust as if that's reality. That's not reality. When the dust settles, then you can see reality. Then you can see reality. For the dust to settle, you have to see through these emotions that say this world is real, that say this thing is happening. There's whatever it is. Everything is like a warm up, and it's like evidence of death. Look, a body that can bleed? Come on. We made that up. That's not us. That's not our inheritance. Okay? You cannot cut your body and get blood to come out of it and all kinds of other weird looking shit. Okay? That's not reality. That's the root of trauma. That's the root of trauma. Taking it as if it's real. So, instead of trying to accept this world as your reality, which is, what people are trying to do all the time, even in the spiritual sense, trying to accept this world as if it's your reality, accept the fact that you made it up. Just accept the fact that you made it up. And then it becomes more beautiful. And then it becomes happier. More beautiful and happier because of that. Because of knowing that you made it up. Okay? But the more you try to make this world into reality, the more you're going to experience it as reality. For one, your body will betray you. Okay? Oh, your body's real. Oh, your body's intelligent. Okay. Then your body will show itself as betraying you over and over and over again. Hey, I thought I was doing something good for my body, but then look what happened. See? Don't try to do good. Don't try to do good for your body. Don't try to do good for your body. See what this trying is rooted in. See what this trying is rooted in, and your body will be taken care of by consciousness. Okay? Why feminine symbolically seen as agent of Maya illusion and masculine as agent of spiritual connection? I have no idea. I've heard it all different ways. That's one way of looking at it. Why? Because that's the way you're looking at it. That's meaningless. It means nothing. It means nothing at all. You know, if you start to think of yourself as being victimized for being female, then you're going to see more and more of that. Okay? There's no such thing as female. You're not female. If you think of yourself that way, then you're setting yourself up. You're not that. You may be experiencing the body of a female, but there's no way anyone else is creating inside of your illusion. Admit that you made it up. Admit that you made yourself female, and then you made people to act like the female's bad. Okay? And then you won't have any issues. You won't have any issues like that. Okay? I remember when I was working, I was working in law firms, and I'd hear about this glass ceiling thing, like for women. And to me, that was just funny. I just thought it was funny. I wouldn't buy into something like that. You know, I wouldn't buy into something like that. That would be ridiculous for me, from my perspective. And you know, that just wasn't the way it was for me. I was getting paid more than male attorneys, and I wasn't even an attorney. Okay? If you start to believe in these things, if you start to believe in the thing about, oh, you know, the world is set up so women are whatever, then you're going to suffer the consequences of that. It doesn't matter what the evidence shows. I'm not saying that the evidence doesn't show that. Sure, look around. The evidence shows that. Okay, fine. But you're not subject to worldly evidence. You're so much more than that. You're not subject to that. Don't agree to it. Don't agree to that whole thing. And you won't be caught up in it. Don't agree to that idea. And then you know what? It's really fun being a woman. It's really fun. It's really fun. You can experience all the awesome things about being a woman. You can experience how, the men are so chivalrous. Oh, they just take care of me. Oh, how nice. How lovely. And that goes for if you're a man too. It's all in your mind. The whole thing is in your mind. No one's doing anything to you. Whatever it is that you find yourself, a color, a certain color, you know, it's all awesome. It's so funny, and now I start to see these things about, like, once in a while I'll see these things like about how the white people are so bad, and you know, apparently I fit that bill. You know, white. Oh, okay, you're privileged. Kill whitey kind of thing. Who cares? It means nothing. Totally meaningless. That doesn't affect me. To me, that's funny. There's nothing. It's nothingness. Okay? There's no need to play into it. There's no need to get afraid. There's all kinds of things set up where you can get afraid. The most recent one, funny one that I hear is about artificial intelligence. Oh no, all the smartest people in the world are saying that artificial intelligence is going to rise up and do. Oh, come on. Is that our fear porn of the day? Is that our fear porn of the hour? When I was a kid, it was a nuclear holocaust. nuclear holocaust going to get us, you know? They're going to bomb the whole world, and the whole world's going to blow up. That was the fear porn of the day. That's all it is. That's all it is. Fearful thinking. Maya illusion. Okay? There's no why. It's just showing up in your own. If there's a why for it, you put it there to get a reaction. That's the only why. You put it out there to get a reaction. Made it appear as if it's out there. You could say this field of experience is like a stage, and that's a prop. People seeing women as something. People seeing people of a certain color as something. Whatever. You put it there to get a reaction. And it's so funny to see the reaction. It's so fun and funny. Okay? It's just for fun. Yay, I love you. If you want to write to me again. Oh, I see some people writing here. Okay. So, true, that's the confusion between duality and non-duality. Indian philosophy, cross-influence. I have no idea what that is, but I'm glad you can relate it to something, Yulia. Hooray. All that comparison of the feminine to Maya and the masculine to consciousness. Not any kind of absolute truth, even in terms of Indian philosophy. Okay. Yeah. So, Anastasia, let me know if I didn't answer your questions and you'd like me to elaborate more. Otherwise, I'm moving on. I got a beautiful hand of Bob Shine over here. Bob
Hello.
Shine, my love.
All right, shining bright. So then, yeah, all kinds of interesting topics. So the special love, the holy love, the violent love, the addicted love, the attached love, all these loves are pseudo loves,
Yep.
fake loves. So, yeah, then it seems like love is something that one is full with in themselves. It's like my cup runneth over with love. And then you give that love to another being. And sexuality is union and creation. So there's this love that brings people together to share and have the holy relationship where your love, your relationship is an offering to God. Your love is a source of inspiration and wanting to discover and live by spirit and reality and not taking or using someone else to make up for your inadequacies or whatever, that you're full and that you're overflowing, and there's a fullness of a heart space that you share with another. And then the sex is like union and creation. So there's that, it doesn't have to be creating babies. You can be generating love. The idea of
Let's put it this way, Bob Shine.
Okay, sure.
Sex is meaningless. It's
Yeah.
totally meaningless. Okay, whatever you want it to symbolize or anything like that, that's just trying to romanticize it. It's one way you experience pleasure. It's not necessary. Any kind of wanting for sex, any kind of wanting for a sexual partner or anything like that, that is totally the ego. You know, you don't have to make it into anything. You don't have to make it into anything. It's no different. It's no different. I've said before, sex is no different than like eating a sandwich. Okay? You don't have to make it into anything special like that. It's the love that's shared that's special. It's not the act of sex itself. You do not have to have sex to exchange, to share any kind of deeper love. It doesn't give you a deeper love. It doesn't give you any kind of deeper love. You can say it's just one of the things that you might find yourself engaging in consciousness. It doesn't have any special connotation to it. See, people are giving it this special connotation, and that's what's making it into something that's problematic. All this poetry about sex and all this different stuff, it's turning sex into something that's special. It's turning sex into this special love. Okay? And that's not necessary. That's not necessary. And what I'm saying is there's no need to try to go after it. It comes up when it comes up. It arises when it arises. But making it into this sort of thing that's like more special than something else. It keeps it as if it's a special thing, as in it's not for awakening because it's made into something. And what I'm saying is there's no difference between having this intimate sexual relationship or having a relationship with your child who, normally you're not sexual with them. You're not being sexual in that one, but there's no difference between the love that's shared. It's exactly the same. So we're not looking to compartmentalize anything and to hold sexuality up like this as if it's some kind of thing about union and all this other stuff. No, don't give it that. And you know what? Here's the thing, Bob Shine. You might find yourself having a lot more sex if you're not holding it up on a pedestal like that. Okay? It seems to be elusive. It seems to be elusive, and especially in the innocent, playful way that you would like. It only seems to be elusive in that innocent, playful way that you would like because you're using it as an idol, idolizing it. It does not need to be idolized like that. Okay? And at the same time, you might say that, you can decide whether or not something is right for you sexually. Okay? You can also decide whether or not something is right for you. Like, say, for instance, if you find yourself being drawn to the kind of relationship that's exclusive sexually, okay, that's okay. Or you find yourself being drawn to it, the kind of relationship where you have a lot of different partners, okay too. Okay too. Just in knowing the difference. The sexuality, it gets so confusing for people. Because it's like, it's like, what do we do with this? What do we do with this? And it's meaningless. Even the way you have sex, it can be likened to the way you like to eat your sandwich once again. Okay? If you don't like pastrami in your sandwich, then you don't order a pastrami sandwich. Same kind of thing. But to hold it up as if it has some kind of importance like that, it's making it into an image and making it into what you're holding as special love. Okay? I see you got disconnected and then came back again. Let's see if you're still there.
I'm back. Yeah. So the idea is it's a vehicle for awakening. Like you say, everything is for enlightenment.
And I'm saying no different. That's why I'm relating it to a sandwich. That's why I'm relating it to a sandwich. Okay? I'm saying if you're giving it that kind of importance, if you're giving sexuality that kind of importance, then you're making it into something. For some people, it's making it into something violent. For some people, it's making it into something that they wish they had that they're never getting. Okay? And that's because of making it into an idol, of idolizing it. You don't need it. And you're only going to get it in as much as it's useful for awakening the mind. You're only going to have it in as much as it's useful for awakening the mind.
Well, that's great. That's what it's for then.
We don't need to hold it up as if it's something, like it's more special than something else. And people can sense that. People can sense that when it sort of gives it sort of like a creepy vibe, you can say. It gives like this sort of creepy vibe. Like oh, I just want to da 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 on and on about how I want to do this with your body and this and this and this and this. It gives it this creeper vibe. People aren't attracted to that. People aren't attracted to that kind of thing. Just being easy about it. Not letting your thoughts constantly going there, making it into this important thing, maybe paying attention to some other things, then it's not such a big thing in your body's energy field then when you're not looking for it, when you're not trying to get it, when you're not so attached to it, then it comes and it's like, oh, there it is. Oh, how nice. It's like, oh, this grilled mahi sandwich. Oh, this is so good. Where did it come from? Oh my goodness. See?
Yeah, it's very simple, as you say.
It's very simple. It's very simple. No need to complicate sexuality or anything else. No need to complicate it. You know, I hear stories about how people get into these relationships where, you know, they have a partner who has sex with other people and they don't like it. And every time their partner has sex with other people, oh, they feel this pain, but they need this pain. They say they need this pain, so it prevents consciousness from allowing them to just be like, oh, you know what? Actually, no, thank you. Because it's just complicating it in thought. It's complicating the whole thing in thought. It's like, oh, I need this. I need to have it like this. It's like, it's so simple. It's like, does that resonate with you? Easy. It's just like for me, you know, like eating beans doesn't resonate with me. So I don't find myself sitting there eating a bunch of beans to bring up feelings of, I feel like I'm going to gag. See? And then on the other side of it, I don't find myself getting all romantic about sushi, which is one of my favorite foods. You know, getting all romantic about it, about how I have to have it and all this other stuff. See? That just perverts things. And there's nothing, and whenever things get perverted in our mind, then it turns out to be a pain in the ass. It turns out bad. People end up getting parasites from sushi and stuff like that. People end up getting venereal diseases. See? Getting into relationships where there's sex and then violence.
Well, doesn't the violence
thing. What's that?
Doesn't the violence in sex come from a background of violence in sex? I mean, you know, you were punished for sex, or you were sexually molested as a child, or you know, you didn't get the love you needed.
Well, now you're talking stories. Now you're talking about stories, see? And the thing is, the liberation is in recognizing that nothing happened. So you don't need a story, see? So if you have a story that you were punished for having sex, you know, you're an innocent child and you're like pulling your pants down with your sweet little friend and you guys are young, and then someone comes in and tells you how bad you are and gives you a big spanking. And if that's your story, if you're going to hold on to that story, then it perverts sex for you. Okay? But that story isn't you. It didn't really happen. Right now, as you're thinking of it, it's an impression in your mind. And you can choose right now whether to make it as if it happened or to recognize it as a feeling, as an energy, as an emotion coming up. And letting that emotion, you know, that's a strong one. That's going to be a strong one too. Letting that emotion itself be felt through instead of trying to cover it up with romanticizing sex. See? You allow the emotion to come up in its full force with all of its intensity. You won't need to romanticize sex anymore. All this romanticizing is a setup. It's a setup for pain. You can just let sex come if it comes, go if and when it goes, be there or not, and everything is the same to you. Because you have the bliss, you have the love that comes from within that already fills you up, and it's so much better, it's so much more than any sex can provide. In fact, all of the pleasure that you experience in sex is because of you. It's because of you. It's not because of bodies rubbing up against each other. Bodies rubbing up against each other can be painful for some people. Okay? That has nothing to do with it. It's all coming from within you. Isn't that for fun?
Yeah, well, thank you for simplifying it.
Yay. I love you.
Okay, I love
I'm
you.
happy that you come with these kinds of questions and stuffs.
Oh, good. Well, Anastasia had her questions, and it sparked me to want to comment.
Yay. I love it. Thank you so much.
Okay, see you
Okay.
soon.
Okay. Aloha.
Aloha.
And that's the kind of thing that the mind does, is pervert everything. Pervert everything. The mind in illusion, let's say. Let's not say the innocent mind, because the innocent mind, that is basically the real world, is a mind in its full innocence. That's why I say it's like dust. It's like dust. In the illusion, it's mind with ego. That's all. It's mind with ego. An ego mind is always looking to pervert everything, as in make an attachment and aversions to everything, whatever it is. Recently, not too recently, but quite a bit ago, I went to a peyote ceremony, and it was my first time ever doing anything like that. The only time I've ever experienced anything like that. And, first thing afterwards, oh yeah, so there's more of these coming. And I was like, oh, no need. What's the need? There's this idea that, okay, well, that was good. I need more. I need more. Give me more. Give me more of that. And it becomes into this thing where I just need more stimulation, more of this, more of this, more of this. And it's a setup. It's a setup for suffering. Oh, here I come. I even heard inside of it, people hearing the prayers. Here I am back again. Here I am back again, trying to get rid of this thing. I want you to take it. I want this fire to take it from me. It doesn't work. In your heart. You cannot give it away like that. No one's going to take it from you. It has to come up in all of its intensity. Coming up in all of its intensity. One thing I learned since coming here to Pune, I've been here 8 years, and these different ceremonies that go on. It's all about like trying to burn something. Well, let me write this thing on a piece of paper and then put it in the fire again, once again. Because this spirit, something outside of myself, is going to now fix this for me. That's the same thing the Christians are doing, guys. That's the same thing that the lost sheep, basically, lost sheep. Okay? Oh, Jesus, please do this and this and this for me. Oh, great Spirit, do this for me. It's like asking for favors. That is not how you pray, really. It's not how you pray. Jesus put it really clear. When, he talked about what the true prayer is. I don't remember the exact words, but the true prayer, it's gratitude. It's just gratitude for who you are. O Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Okay? On earth as it is in heaven. That means you are heaven. Your only will is heaven. If you want something to be taken away, or you want something to be given to you, either way, you're saying that lack is so. It's not so. It doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is heaven. The only thing that's real is heaven, and that's who you are. And that's your inheritance. When the dust settles, how does the dust settle? Through you. through you recognizing that it is not reality. It is not reality in the first place. So if you're praying for something, taking all these different ceremonies, trying to get somewhere, all it's doing is keeping things the same. Okay? It's not until you see through, and you could even have these, you can have these things going on. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay? You can be all drugged up on any kind of drug. It doesn't matter. Because behind that, you cannot be affected. You are not affected. Okay? It's a matter of seeing through, letting it rise in your body's energy field. Intense, intense, intense. And stopping the projecting. Stopping making it about yourself. Okay? Don't let it be about yourself. It's not about you. Nothing reflects on you. Everything you think that you want to have changed in this experience, everything you think you want to have different, everything you think you want to have remain the same in this experience, it is not. It doesn't really exist. Only you exist, and you are heaven. Okay? It's your will to see through it. These wanting for anything is a conceived will. It's meant to keep you distracted. Distracted in suffering over and over again. Oh, it's getting a little bit better. Okay, now I know what to do to keep it getting better. Maybe for some people it's a specific diet. Okay, I know what makes me happy. It's having a trick-ass body. And I get that by eating a certain diet and doing kind of exercise. Or I know what makes me happy. It's feeling spiritual. And I feel spiritual if I do X, Y, Z. Okay? For instance, if I do this much peyote. Okay, I know what it is. I get the right amount of peyote, and I do this amount of peyote every day, and then I will feel spiritual enough to be in tune and not suffer. Okay? That might work for a little while. I might feel like, oh yeah, you got it. But it's always a setup. There is nothing in the physical world, that can give you peace. Okay? The only thing that brings peace is seeing through the illusion. Seeing through the illusion. And seeing through the illusion takes recognizing that everything that you perceive is an emotional projection. And nothing more. Okay? An emotional projection. Nothing else. All the people, all the ideas of lack, all the ideas of doing good, okay? Doing it right, having to get it right, having to get it just right, having to get somewhere, okay? All there is noticing. Noticing when you're being taken into distraction. Anytime you have responsibility, anytime you seem to have responsibility for your own life. Anytime there's second guessing what you maybe said or did, or judging someone else's experience, or judging how they act, or anything like that. Okay? Watching how the ego tries to play you. That's all. It doesn't matter what you find yourself doing. It does not matter. I've had all kinds of fun experiments and experiences. You know, just recently I found myself enjoying spliffs. You know what a spliff is? It's part marijuana and part tobacco. Okay? Last February, I got the inkling to, oh, this sounds good. I like this. Let's have some spliffs. Okay? Experimenting, experiencing. Not as if anything is wrong, not as if this is going to get me somewhere, and at the same time watching as thoughts arise to say, you shouldn't be doing this. Or you should be doing this. It's so fun because you get both. If you watch, you get both. Oh, this is good. This gets you tuned in spiritually. It's like, okay, there's a laughable one. And then, oh, this might be too much. This might be too much for you. Okay, there's another laughable one. Because this is just consciousness playing out. And that's what makes it fun. This is consciousness playing out. Again and again, it's watching how there's this kind of hook to get me to identify with this thing, that this apparent habit, and what it seems to be doing, what effects it seems to have, everything. Anything can be used like that. Okay? And then one day it was done. Just done. Not like, I quit. I quit smoking spliffs. No, it just ran its course. It just ran its whole course. Oh, no need anymore. For now. Will it come back? I don't know. That's not my decision. It doesn't matter. It's not relevant. It doesn't change who I am. It doesn't affect anything. It has no effects whatsoever. And that's the thing. That's the whole purpose of anything coming up, is so you can see through the illusion of it. That experiment brought up a lot of illusions. It was fun. Because of that, because it brought up a lot of illusions. That's what it's for. Brings them up to be seen through. Everything for awakening the mind. And when everything is given for awakening the mind, everything is given to awakening the mind, then everything comes clear for that purpose. It comes through in that way. There's no second guessing about it. It's all perfect. There's no guilty consciousness being allowed to play out about it. Oh, should I or shouldn't I? Have you ever hear that in your mind? Even on the positive side, I'd hear, oh, this really helps. It's like, yeah, okay. Okay, then. And then, okay, that didn't work. All right, well, you're not spiritually tuned in since you have to do this. Okay, then. All righty. You're not doing it right if you, I don't know, eat ice cream. Let's say that one. One experiment that took place some years ago was laying in bed for months on end, just eating ice cream. Just eating ice cream. And, that went so against the way this body-mind was conditioned, that so many guilty thoughts and feelings would come up. And it was all for seeing through. And it was so beautiful. And you know what? In addition to the eating ice cream, there was video games. No, thank you. I just got offered, I got offered something. It looks like maybe a vape or something like that. Thanks. You're awesome. So, yeah, the video games too, Angry Birds on the phone, because there was so much judgment about those things. And this is how I see it. It's like coming up. Wherever there's judgment in my mind, for one, it's all self-judgment. There's no people doing it. So I perceived some people playing video games and felt like it was such a bad thing that they should be doing something else. They should be getting outside. Shouldn't be playing video games. And then also for a long time, there was the perception that eating stuff, especially something sugary like ice cream and cooked dairy, how terrible. So the next thing you know, I find myself in bed doing those very things. Perfect for me. Absolutely perfect for me. Because the whole purpose is seeing through and watching the thoughts. Oh boy, if I'm doing this and I'm this age, is my body ever going to bounce back from this? And seeing the meaninglessness in that as well. Just the meaningless over and over and over again. Watching the meaningless over and over and over again. You don't have to search for these experiences. They come upon you. When you're open, when you're ready to use every single experience for awakening the mind, it'll just be given to you. And it's beautiful because of you. Because you can see through every single guilty concept. And in seeing through every concept, you become more of yourself. You become more of who you are. You become less able to cast judgments. You become less able to cast shadows in your mind. And people can be allowed to be as they are. Sure, you could see the setups. You could see what they are. But you know what? That's their experiment. That's their thought experiment. There's not one better than another. There's not one thought experiment better than another. And when you recognize it's just a thought experiment, no one's doing anything wrong, that's how love gets shared. That's how love gets shared. When you see that, when you see what it is, when you know what it is, it opens the door for seeing through. Now, not everyone can handle this level of freedom at a certain given point in their mind, a certain given point in their journey. Thank you, Lori. Thank you for all of your comments. I see your comments. I appreciate that. Appreciate you too. Yeah. All of these different experiences, they're for awakening. Okay? Even the experience of casting judgment. Even that experience of casting judgment. You cannot cast judgment really on another person. It can't happen. All the judgment you cast is upon yourself. Okay? And I've watched this in my own mind. I've also watched it in the reflections of other people. I've watched it in my reflections. Oh, there's some heavy-duty judgment being cast right there. Wow. Wow, that's some heavy-duty judgment. Okay. And you can see how that transgresses. It can see how it goes. The person ends up feeling judged. You cannot cast judgment without feeling judged yourself. Okay? Whenever it seems like it's just benign. It seems like it's just benign to cast judgment. But it's not. It affects you. Has an effect on your body's energy field. It doesn't affect your reality. In reality, only the gifts are there for you. Everything else, all the judgment, it's meaningless. It just goes away. It doesn't stay in reality. The pointing the finger, all that kind of stuff. Those people that are being perceived, they're not really like that. They're not actually like that. They're showing themselves to you in a way that you can use to see through the illusion. They might show you a way of being that you could use to see through the illusion. It doesn't mean they are actually like that, though, because they are not actually like that. However, you see them as a picture that you painted. They're not really that way. They're perfect just like you. So if you recognize that it's a picture that you painted for your own awakening, you can just appreciate it. Oh, thank you. Yay. And when they seem like they're trying to share that judgment with you, you can just say no, thank you. You can listen with your whole body. And when you listen with your whole body, about how you've got it wrong, about how you're doing it wrong. It's easy. It's simple. The no thank you is sincere. Not as if you're perceiving it wrong. Oh, you're perceiving me wrong. Let me set you straight about how I really am. No need. No need. If there's a judgment of you, that's what's being explored right now from that point of view. That's what's necessary. Let it be. Practice, is that so? Is that so? Oh, thank you. And no, thank you. See? So if anyone would like to speak with me, please raise your hand. I don't sense anything else coming up at the moment, but you never know. So let me know if you have anything for me. And I see the beautiful hand of Lori.
Hello.
Yeah. What a lovely hand you have.
Lovely hand. Oh, that's nice. Why, thank you for that. The smelling thing.
Yes, my love.
I love to smell the lilacs when they're in bloom.
Yes.
And they're only in bloom at the end of May, beginning of June. And but really in the mind, so I can smell them anytime.
Yes. In fact, you put them there for a certain amount of time. You only put them there for a certain amount of time. Okay? And that's only for the illusion. So in reality, they're never gone. Like I explained before, nature is always in bloom. Nature is always in bloom. So they're never gone. They're never away. It just seems like that. And within the illusion, if you see that, oh, they're not here right now, noticing whatever emotion is coming up for you, because what's really so is that they're available to you anytime. So anything like this can be used. Anything like this can be used for seeing through the illusion, because there's an emotion that comes along with they're not here right now. There's an emotion that comes along with it. Otherwise, you would not notice.
Huh.
You would not even notice that they're not present in your experience unless there's an emotion about it. The emotion about it is representing them as being lacking. So that's an opportunity that could be used to see through. And see, the aroma is really coming from your mind. It's not coming from those flowers.
Okay, so I could use this same thing with the crickets right now. You know, they're so loud. I just love the sound of crickets. And they're here in Maine from the end of July through the middle of October.
Yes.
Then we don't hear them through the rest of the year. Unless I go to Florida and I hear them, it's like, ah. So when they're gone, it's not like a focus on them.
Yeah.
But here, there's a major gratitude for the sound.
Okay, so enjoy that.
Yes.
That's not missing anything. See, that's not missing anything, the gratitude for the sound. See, you watch if there's an attachment to it. If there's an attachment to it, that you can use. You don't need to use it. You don't need to use it where there's gratitude. You're just enjoying it. There's nothing.
Right.
There's nothing there to use. See, but if there's, go ahead.
It's when the end of October and beginning of November comes and they're not here anymore and it's a missing of them. That's what I
Yes.
can use.
That's what you can use. Exactly. That's what you can use to see through. You know, use whatever it is, whether it's attachment or aversion, use it. So either you're using attachment or aversion if that's what's up right now, or you're just enjoying. See, you're not getting distracted as in believing the illusion is real. That's where you could say you're wasting time. Okay, which there's no really such thing as wasting time, because time can go on and on as much as you want. But it's like, if you'd like to see through in this lifetime, don't waste time. Jesus spoke of an urgency for a reason. If you'd like to see through in this lifetime, don't waste time. You can waste time if you want to. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not going to get judged for it, that's for sure.
Right.
That wasting time, so to speak. There's no really wasted time again. That's also learning, because it's setting you up for suffering again and again. Isn't that fun? So there's nothing wrong with it. But I suspect that the people who come here on Wisdom Dialogues, they would actually like to see through the illusion. They would like to see all the way through to the great rays and light body in this lifetime. They're not that excited about going back to the death realm and being like, okay, that was all meaningless.
And start over with another ego.
Now start off with that's kind of like a one way of saying it, but you are excited to do it again. Once it's a death realm, it's like, oh, thank goodness that wasn't real. Holy shit. All right, let's do it again. But in an excited way, I've explained it like it's like a dolphin diving into illusion, knowing that you can see through, really excited. But yeah, if you don't want to waste time, if you're done getting distracted and you're done wasting time, then you're either using your experience of aversion or attachment, or you're enjoying the other side of that, which is who you are. You're just enjoying who you are. You're just enjoying whatever it is that's arising in your body's energy field. Okay? Not getting distracted. And what you'll see, what I find, is that the experience of joy and lightness in my body keeps on expanding. And I know it keeps on getting better and better until the body itself turns to light. The joy, the experience in the body, it's like, oh no, oh yeah, and it just keeps on getting lighter and more pleasurable, and then that joy is what's always getting shared. See? Love and joy, they're synonymous.
So if something happens that's seen as negative or not wanted.
Yeah. So notice there's a heaviness in your body's energy field when that occurs.
Right.
Go there. Let it increase in its intensity. And when you let it increase in its intensity without projecting, it gets worked out. It gets burnt out. It gets played out is another way of saying it. And you experience more lightness than you've known before.
So okay, so that feels to the mind is like, ooh, something's due. Ooh, that's exciting. I can do that.
What do you mean?
It's a doing.
Okay.
Letting it burn or whatever.
Well, it's a surrendering, you could say. It's very different from someone doing something. It's very different from someone doing something, because that energy all by itself will intensify if you're not projecting. Projecting is the doing. Projecting is the doing. So look, when there's an upset feeling that comes up, automatically you're going to be motivated into the doing aspect of it, which is projecting about it. That's the doing. The surrendering, what I'm talking about, is more of a stopping. It's more of a stopping and letting that energy play out. Okay, it's more of a surrender than a doing. It's not like, oh, goody, something to do. It's like, whoa, there it is, time to notice.
Okay.
Okay, don't make it into a doing, because you don't have to do anything. The doing is the projecting. It's more like a stopping the doing. It's more like that, but it's not exactly like that. That's why I'm using the words more like, okay? Because automatically the projecting thoughts start to come, and you get hooked. You can say you get hooked by them. That's the doing.
Okay.
Okay. So what you're looking for is to just notice that doing. You may even be watching the doing playing out, where it's going, oh shit, I've got this, I don't know why, yeast infection just came into my consciousness. Oh shit, I got this yeast infection. Now, how did I get this yeast infection? That's the doing. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So you're not following. Oh, this sucks. Oh man, this is probably going to last a week. And what do I have coming up that I'd like to do with this yeast infection? Am I going to be able to do it? That's the doing.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
This means I can't have sex for this long. Oh man, I got a date. You know. Because you see how funny it is, though, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can be really light with it. You can be really light with it. You can be the one laughing through all of it.
Mm. But when you're laughing through it, you're not really feeling the burn of
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can still feel the burn. You're just laughing at the thoughts that are trying to hook you into doing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You're not laughing in a way that's covering up. That's a different kind of laughter. I'm talking about a deep belly laugh that comes from seeing that what your mind is saying is meaningless nonsense.
Yeah. Right. Yes.
Still allows the burn to happen.
Okay.
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 Yay, I love you. I have another hand. I'm so excited. Another beautiful hand.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you. I love you.
Yep.
And I have written things. Oh, thank you, Constance. Oh, I appreciate that. You know, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. I love all of that encouragement. So sweet. Oh, yeah. Okay, and I got Andy, which she wrote a bunch to me, but she's also got a hand. So I'm just gonna go to her. Aloha, Andy.
Aloha.
Yay! I'm so stoked that you joined me.
I know the karmic winds have made it possible.
Hooray!
It's so good. I've been enjoying it so much. It's been completely so helpful to listen and watch.
Aw, yay. Oh, so happy. So what do you have? I didn't even read your comments because I saw your hand.
Oh goodness, how to put this?
You can read them if you want.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and read them.
All right.
It's a little bit, but yeah.
So incredible. I've been recognizing this as well, as I seem to find many people, friends and ex-lovers, casting many judgment about chaos I cause. How awesome. Oh, you're so blessed. This is great. I've been overcoming self-hatred and realize that these patterns only cause a deeper realization of how to love myself. Okay, Andy, do you notice how you're drawn to people who want to make judgments about how you cause chaos?
Yes.
Isn't that fun?
It's very fun.
That's the best, right?
Yeah.
Right? And it's just because there's this split mind that wants you to agree with them. It's as if you agree with them, somehow you're going to get better and stop causing so much chaos. See it?
Yeah.
You see it? That's why you haven't been able to say, oh, no, thank you. Oh, no, thank you to that.
Yeah.
Because there's this idea as if that can help you, as if
Yeah.
their judgment can be helpful. And that's exactly the way they put it out to you. And you know what? They put it out to you like that in love, in total love, not love as if what they're saying is true. Love as in for you to see that that's not about you, that it has nothing to do with you. It does not reflect on you. It has no truth for you whatsoever. That love that it's given to you and is Andy, when is Andy going to rise up in the love that she is and say no thank you to me?
Thank-
Do you love it?
yeah,
Because see, you've been agreeing with them. You've
absolutely.
been agreeing with them.
It's
Yeah.
really about like trying to please the other person or thinking that it's like I'm gonna help them by agreeing with going along with what they're saying or just pleasing them with what they want. And it never works out. It just creates the most wretched situations.
I know.
It's
I
not
know. I see this in the living in a spiritual community has been the most eye-opening thing I've ever experienced. I mean, it
Yeah.
is amazing. People are using each other like crazy to make each other crazy.
absolutely, yeah.
And it's all in love. It's like I've
The-
heard things like friends telling me, "Oh yeah, I must not be in integrity because everyone's telling me that I'm not in integrity." And I'm like, "Well, you know what? You're not in integrity whenever you believe that you're not in integrity.
Mhm.
That's all it is. That's all it is. If you buy it, then you're making it so. You're making that so. And you can choose in any moment to see that that is completely fun."
Like I've been calling out for it to happen to allow myself to see it because
Yes, exactly.
in that ability to see it, growing up.
Yes. Yes, you need another person to tell you, you failed in order for you to see what you're saying to yourself because there's all these defenses built up about what you're saying to yourself. What you're saying to yourself, what you're choosing for yourself in your own mind. There's defenses to seeing it. So you need other people to show you, to tell you what you're saying to yourself. And so that gives you the best opportunity because when they tell you what you're saying to yourself, that's when you can say, "Oh, that's what I'm saying to myself. Okay, no, thank you."
Yeah.
And be so happy about it. And be so, so happy about it. I love that when I get that kind of approach from someone. It is so wonderful because, I don't have to change their mind. I have no need to change their mind.
Mhm.
Okay, it's okay if you want to see it like that. And thank you for letting me know. And I don't have anything to say about it.
Mhm.
See? And by them letting you know and you having that no thank you to that in your heart, consciousness will not keep you together.
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely? Either that or their mind has to change. Either their mind changes or they're not in your experience.
Mhm.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah. And also,
I got more to read from you unless you'd like to talk to me.
yeah, I think we were just touching on that. I'm wondering, I'm really having this major self-discovery. It's like the inside of myself has always known this all along, but it's always kind of just now revealing itself in this way.
Yeah.
I've seen this reflection in someone I met that I'm really deeply enamored with, and I'm trying to find the ways to have enough self-love for myself to not allow the failures of my past to come into this new relationship.
Oh, how fun. That's so cute. You know, there's
Yeah.
no past, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So there's no way that anything can go wrong. There's no way that anything can go wrong. Basically, you keep on looking at whatever's coming up in your body's energy field. I know you can tune in this way. Whatever's coming up, it's telling you, "Oh no, oh no, oh no." And recognize projection is happening right now.
Yeah.
Projection is happening right now. Even the I don't want to lose this person. What's saying I'm enamored with this person, that's attachment right now.
Yeah.
Right now, that's attachment. I'm enamored with this person. This person does not exist like that.
Mhm.
This person does not exist like that. It's like an ever-changing structure of thought. You put it into your perception. You could say you put it on the field of experience, just for you to see if you'll get attached in this way. You are not enamored with a person. You are not. This is a falsehood. And if you believe that you are, you're setting yourself up just right now. Forget about the past and be with right now. The past cannot affect you. Right now, when you say, I'm enamored with this person and I don't want it to go wrong, for one, you're saying it can go wrong.
Yeah.
And saying it can go wrong, you're setting it up to go wrong. All relationships, look at this, Andy. This is really important right now. All relationships, hold them with an open hand like this, open hand. Not a clutch, not a clutching thing, not a gripping thing, not trying to hold on. Open hand. Show me. This is what makes it a holy relationship. Okay? A holy relationship always gets better and better, and it has nothing to do with another person because it's just you.
Yeah.
All right? So open hand like this. Just show me. Show me where I'm attached. That's what the whole relationship is for. It's to show you where you're attached, to show you what you have aversions to. That's all it's for. As you see the relationship like that, as you use the relationship like that, it'll continue to show you more and more of who you are. Okay? Non-attachment has to do, it's a feeling like an open hand. Let it come and go. It will not last. It will not last. Only the love will last. This is not between bodies, though. It's not between bodies. It's one mind. It's one mind. It's an eternal love. It's an eternal love that you share. It's only an eternal love that you share. Bodies can come and go. That has to be your attitude, because if you're in an attitude of attachment, if you're in an attitude where I need to make it work with this one, you're setting yourself up.
Right.
You're setting yourself up for failure. Pretending like there's a past that can do it to you is putting something outside of yourself that can create here. Okay? It can't. It can't. You use it for a holy purpose and it'll prove itself holy, no matter how long it lasts or no matter how short-lived. You just keep on using it for a holy purpose. That's all. And in using it for a holy purpose, you're willing to see through this idea that you're enamored with a person in the first place. You're willing to see through this idea that you need this to last a certain amount of time. Okay? That's where your worthiness comes in. That's where your worthiness comes in. You know, when I was getting married to my husband, we got married in '99, just to give you an idea of how, many years we've apparently been chilling. But, when I got married with my husband, he goes, "Are you nervous about marrying me?" And I'm like, "No, there's always divorce." It's not like I don't love this dude and I think he's totally awesome. Otherwise, I wouldn't be marrying him,
Yeah.
But to act like this needs to last for a certain amount of time or things can't change, if this turns out to be some sour freaking thing where we're just using each other to beat each other up, you can bet your ass I'll be getting a divorce. That doesn't serve my highest purpose. It didn't turn out that way. He looked a little bit taken aback by that. That was my perception anyways. He looked a little bit taken aback by that response, but then I could see that he was kind of like, there's a freedom in that. And that's the way it is. That's how, you don't know. Like, whenever I would see my mind wandering to how long this has to last, it's like, whoa, who knows? Tomorrow he could be interested in another chick, and that does not resonate with me.
Yeah.
Tomorrow he could decide that he likes boning up with, I don't know, 20-year-old broads. I don't think he's that kind of guy, but hey, who knows?
So is that honesty with yourself and the not fearing any judgment from the other person, is that the continuity of the self-love?
Yes. Yes. And it's like, it doesn't have to last for a certain amount of time. And, in your mind, you're not attached to that. You're not attached to that. And that's what actually makes you attractive and keeps you attractive. Because when you turn into, once the relationship is done being new and you turn into this clingy thing, he starts to feel differently about you, doesn't he?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, I got to try to keep this thing going. Whereas the whole time you could just be detached.
Right.
And
Right.
let it come and go as it does. And these things, they kind of ebb and flow. They kind of ebb and flow, right? They might seem like they're not that attracted to you. If you don't get clingy in that period, it'll come back again. See? You might have the perception of, oh, they're not that into me right now. If you don't let yourself get all clingy about that, then it'll come back again. And you might even notice that they come back again, showing that they love you even more. Okay? Because it's in your mind that the ebbs and flows are occurring anyways. That's not really happening.
So do you think is there like to sit down with myself and focus on self-love, or to like how to continue, like it's something I really struggle with. So it's like to continually practice that.
Well, the self-love, aloha, thank you. The self-love, that's what you are. Okay? So it's always anything that seeks to deny it. Anything that denies your worthiness. Because you feel like shit. So you don't have to go looking for it.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a shitty feeling. Oh no, what if this relationship falls apart? That's a shitty feeling.
Yeah.
That's denying who you are. That's denying the love that you are. So that's what I talk about, that shitty feeling. Let it get really intense. Don't try to push it away. What?
It does.
Yeah. Okay, but without the projecting.
Yeah, without the projecting.
Without the projecting, it's going to be a different kind of intensity than you're probably used to. Was without the projecting, the worry, the fear, all that stuff, let it get really, really big. Let it get really, really intense, but without it's intense because this might happen. Oh no, this might happen. I might be this. They're all those thoughts. Okay? You probably heard it say, get out of your head and into your heart. This is it's almost like a physical movement. It's almost like a physical pivoting, because the thoughts have your attention, the thoughts have your focus, and you're putting your focus right into your body's energy field and how that feels instead of pursuing thoughts. That's it. That's the work here. That's what gets you through it. That's what helps you to see through and diffuse that emotion so you're not afraid of losing anyone. Through death or breaking up. And, if someone breaks up to you, they might say, hey, you know what, Andy, your breath is too stinky. I'm not into it anymore, and I'm out of here. Okay? That has nothing to do with you. That has absolutely nothing to do with you. That is exactly what you need right now to see through the illusion that you could possibly be something that needs someone.
Right.
Okay? That you could possibly be something that small. You're going to be filled up by yourself, by who you are. You let yourself be completely filled up by who you are, and then all the good comes to you, all the connection, all the love, exactly what you need. You're not going to be afraid of someone walking away from you because you know that better is always coming. And that's how it is for me, Andy. It's like, I'm not afraid of something leaving me because I know that better is always coming because of my own worthiness and my willingness to accept that worthiness from moment to moment.
Right.
See? So
Yeah.
it's not a problem if it's not a problem if my partner decides, you know what, Hope, I'm not really into just the way you are. It's just not attractive to me anymore. Oh, okay, thank you for letting me know. I might experience myself crying. I might experience myself upset, but the inner smile is always there for me. And it's there for you as well, if you'll look for it, because something better is always coming.
Yeah.
Haven't you noticed that too?
Of course, absolutely.
Yes.
It's so
Yes.
true.
Look, you haven't had one as good as you have right now, and it's just going to get better.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. That's
You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you.
so grateful.
You know I love you. You know I love you.
I don't know. Wow. I feel super blessed that you are doing this. Honestly, I'm
Yay.
super, super blessed that this is available.
Oh, me too. I'm so blessed too. Hooray. Thank
Thank
you. All right, well, it's time for me to go and be with my family, maybe eat some food or something like that. So I'm just going to let you guys know that this is sponsored by Miracle Botanicals, our wonderful essential oil line, miraclebotanicals.com, the best essential oils you'll ever smell or your money back. Andy knows about them.
Okay.
And oh, did I say miraclebotanicals.com? That's where you go to order the wonderful essential oils. Miracle Botanicals. Hey, Lori said that's true. Lori, I didn't even know you were into essential oils. Yeah, right on. I'm glad you like them.
These variety too.
Oh yeah, we love variety. Yeah, we're adding some more stuff. We're always adding stuff. I just added a digestive flow. That one you take by mouth. It's got cumin in it. Love it. Always making blends. Oh, you like your blend, Lori? Cool. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And what else? Oh yeah, we have cannabis indica. It's still on the way. Been talking about it for a couple weeks. Wonderful cannabis indica coming from Canada, and it'll be available very soon. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I wanted to let you guys know that next week I'm going to be on Webinar Jam. I don't think you're going to have to do anything about it because I have all of your emails and stuff like that. So it's just going to have you, you're just going to be there. Like you'll just get the email that says, if you want to go to the webinar, click this link, and you're going to be on Webinar Jam. And it's going to be a little bit different from what you're used to because there's going to be an option to be on video with me if you want. So when you raise your hand, it's going to take you through a setup where it's going to ask you to check your audio and your video and stuff like that. But once you're on, if you don't want to be on video, just don't press the video icon. So you don't have to if you don't want to, but you can if you do. And then on the video, you're going to see me side by side with you. And it's also going to be broadcast on YouTube live while we're on. So that's going to be super fun. And people can join from YouTube too. So it might get busy. I'm even going to start out with a moderator. But yeah, as always, it'll be so freaking fun. We won't even believe it. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I appreciate you so much. Keeping it Tuesday at 3 p.m. Hawaii time. Every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Hawaii time. And for ease, I'm not changing it to 4 with the time change this time. It's going to stay at 3 p.m. Hawaii time every Tuesday. I love you so much. Thank you for joining. I'm so blessed. We're so blessed. Aloha and a hui ho.
Hui ho.
Yay, Andy.